This man mistaked Rock Lee and Mike Guy for these two clowns. How the f*** do you even do that?
It's fire, it's freedom, it's blood and open. It's the preacher and the prophet and your blind devotion. There's something breaking at the brink of every wall that's holding all that you know. So tell me, do you wanna go? Where it's covered in all the gold of the night, where the runaways are running the night. Impossible comes true, it's taking over you. This is the greatest show.
Surprise, motherfucker!
I'm back, bitches.
I have returned from the Shadow Realm to bring you another video.
And today's video is going to be about anime. And yes, I know, I've made a lot of videos about anime. But I like anime. And this video specifically is my top 10 favorite anime characters in general. Now let's set down one single ground rule, which is you can only have 3 characters from each anime. Because if I don't place down this rule, there's probably going to be like 50 My Hero characters in this list. Now, don't forget to like and subscribe, and maybe hit that notification bell. But anyway, let's just get into this because there's a lot of characters to get through. 10 whole characters. Actually, that's not that many. Number 10.
Dio!
From JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And the reason why I like Dio is for one reason, and one reason alone. This man is a stone-cold savage. And plus the fact that he's a vampire is really cool. And a little weird, but then again, it's from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, so it's meant to be bizarre as f***. Also, I just like how he says the world. Zooldo! Speaking of the world, or Zooldo, the world has a really badass design. But yeah, that's pretty much why I like Dio. He's a badass, and he has a badass stand. Number 9. Izuku Midoriya from My Hero Academia. Now, where do I start with Midoriya, or Deku, as he's called in the anime? Let's start with the main reason why I like him a lot. Because he's one of the best MCs in anime. And you're probably saying at home,
But Duplos, there are so many better MCs than Deku from My Hero Academia.
now listen here, dear viewer. Let's take one of these amazing MCs, Naruto. He has great character, he has good character development, and he's a very powerful character. But he's stupid. You can't tell me otherwise. This man mistaked Rock Lee and Mike Guy for these two clowns. How the f*** do you even do that? Alright, now let's talk about Deku. Let's start with his character. Everybody calls him a crybaby, yet he cries when I feel like I would probably start breaking down in that moment. And I am one tough cookie to crack when it comes to crying. I do not cry. Like, ever. But I feel like if I broke my bones as much as Deku does, I would probably cry. And hell, he stopped crying most of the time when he breaks his bones. That's pretty goddamn impressive in my book. Let's talk about One For All. It's a super strength quirk that also increases his speed. But he can also compress wind into, like, wind bullets. I don't even think the god Hulk could do that. And there's a version of him that can literally destroy a planet. And then he has this ability called Black Whip, which is pretty much like Spider-Man's webs, except like in this dark energy look. It's pretty cool, and honestly, a pretty badass power. And here's the main reason why I think he's better than characters like Luffy. His intelligence is off the charts. And you're probably thinking, but there's other smart characters in anime, what makes Deku so different? He's the MC. He's literally the main character. Literally 3 of the most popular main characters, Naruto, Goku, and Luffy, all are dumber than a sack of bricks. And call this man Batman because he's got a log on every single student at UA's quirk that he knows about, and every single pro hero's quirk that he knows about, and all the powers. So he can pretty much counter and come up with a strategy on the double. And that's the main reason why Deku is number 9. He may not be the strongest of all anime characters, but he's one of the smartest. Number 8. Naruto Uzumaki from Naruto. Now, the reason why Naruto is above Deku is because I just really relate with Naruto more. But let's get more in depth of why I like Naruto Uzumaki better than Deku. Now let's start with his character. He's a great character. A little on the stupid side, but he's got a lot of spirit. And I like that. Now let's get on with the powers. Because he's got a good amount of these things. Let's start with the Rasengan, which is pretty much a ball of energy that he spins up really fast, that is very powerful and could cut through a tree like it's nothing and blow up a water tower.
I am under the water.
Christ, that's a strong attack! I mean, good God, Naruto! Then there is the Giant Rasengan, which is just exactly in its title. It's a Giant Rasengan. Again, good God! That is a strong attack. Then there is his multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu, or just Shadow Clone Jutsu, where he can literally make a self-copy of himself, pretty much the same amount of strength, and unless it's hit a little too hard, it can fight just as well as the original. That is nuts. And he can make like 1,000,000 of these things. And they can all do the exact same jutsu as he can. Jeez Louise, that's strong. Then there is his Rasen Shuriken, which is just like the Rasengan, except it's shaped like a shuriken. And when hit, it literally attacks the chakra points, aka life energy points, and just cuts them off completely and kills the person. Good God, that's a strong attack! And then there are his multiple other forms, including Sage Mode. Literally using a thing called Nature Energy to increase his own chakra, and it pretty much makes him stronger. Good God, that is strong. And then he has the most OP thing, the Ninetales, aka Kurama. What is Kurama, you ask, unless you're a Naruto fan? It is a literal giant fox spirit that gives him an insane extra amount of chakra. Yes, it's just as strong as it sounds. And then there is his Ninetales form, or as I call, Beast Mode Naruto, where he literally gets so strong that he makes a ball of energy, eats the ball of energy, and shoots out a laser like Godzilla. And plus, his strength is increased, his durability is increased, his speed is increased, and just everything normal about Naruto is increased. The only thing he can't do is normal jutsus. Good fucking God, that's strong. Though I can't talk about Naruto's other various forms that he has, because I haven't gotten that far in the anime. I haven't even gotten to Boruto yet. But, other than that, from what I've seen from Naruto, Jesus Christ, he's strong. Like, good God! And his intelligence, like I said with Deku, he's an idiot. He's not the smartest, but even though he's not the smartest, I love the Knucklehead, and he's pretty OP, so yeah, that's why I like Naruto. Number 7, Roronoa Zoro from One Piece. Now, disclaimer, I actually have not seen that much of One Piece, but I feel like enough to pick a favorite character, and it's easily Zoro. He's chill, he's laid back, and honestly a cool dude. He's kind of like Bond from Seven Deadly Sins, except he doesn't date a child. Thank God. Now let's talk about his power, which is called Three Sword Style. It's where he has three swords. One that goes in his mouth, and two that goes in his hands. Yeah, sure, cool. But also, Zoro's intelligence he's way smarter than Luffy, that's for sure. And that's not that big of an achievement, but he's still a good character, and he's smart. And that's why I like him. He's a good character. Number 6, Shoto Aizawa from My Hero Academia. Alright, with Aizawa, he's personality, he's chill, he doesn't really care about anything, and he gets annoyed at some small things that happen. But honestly, I like that. He's cool. I like him. Then there is his power, which is quirk erasure, which is pretty much when he stares at somebody, he erases their power, or quirk, as they're called in My Hero Academia. That is really overpowered, because he's got a very powerful fighting style, and he's got his, scarf that he uses to tangle people up, and, plus, he can erase people's powers, so they're pretty much defenseless. That is honestly a little overpowered. And the only quirks he can erase is mutation quirks like Tsuyu's, Asui's, and Hagakure's quirks. But even One for All, Aizawa can erase. And that's pretty damn powerful, in my opinion. But the one issue is the minute he stops looking or blinks, yeah, the quirk erasure stops and they have their quirks back. But that's okay, it's still a very powerful power. And then there is his intelligence. It's not on Deku's level, but it's not, on Luffy level. He's, in between, but a little higher than average smartness. He's smart, but not super smart. But yeah, Aizawa, he's a cool guy. And that's why he's number 6. Number 5.
The almighty Prince Vegeta!
From Dragon Ball. Where do I even start with the prince? He's awesome. Let's start with his personality, which he's calm, cool, and collective with a bit of a temper. I like that. Alright, let's get started with the powers, because this is even longer than Naruto's list. Let's start with the basic flying. He can literally fly. Then there's his basic ki blast, which, if you don't know what ki blasts are, they're pretty much shooting lasers. God, that's strong! And then there's the Big Bang attack, which is an even more powerful version of the basic ki attacks. Are you kidding me? Then there's his Gallic Gun, which is a laser beam, which everyone knows what the Kamehameha is. It's kind of like that, but not as strong. If you really want something that compares with the Kamehameha wave, use the Final Flash. Yeah, he has 2 giant laser beams. Fun! And now let's talk about his forms. And there's a lot of them to get through. Let's start with Super Saiyan, which just boosts his normal powers to a new extent. Then there's Super Saiyan 2. Again, boosts his powers even higher than basic Super Saiyan. Then there's Super Saiyan God, which is literally just boosting your powers to be able to, compare to literal deities in this universe. Then there's Super Saiyan Blue, a Super Saiyan version of Super Saiyan God. What? And then there's Super Saiyan Blue Evolved. Are you kidding me? And that's just in canon. If we went out canon, there's Super Saiyan 4, which is even more powerful than Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue. Are you kidding me? And plus there's a technique he knows where he can fuse with Goku or anyone and become a fusion. which makes him even more powerful, technically. And then there's his intelligence, which is very high. He is just an amazing character in this universe. And that's why Vegeta is my absolute favorite character from Dragon Ball and is on this list, and I love much more and is leagues better than that clown, Kakarot. Number 4, Nezuko from Demon Slayer. Alright, let's start with her personality like I've started with everybody else. Nezuko is sweet, she's kind, but she's also a complete badass when she needs to be. Now let's talk about her powers. She can kick really hard. I'm not even kidding, that's one of her powers. She can kick extremely hard. Like, she once sent a man's head off his body and into a tree with how hard she kicked his head. Good God! And then, for some reason, a good amount of demons have a thing called a blood demon art. And her blood demon art, because she's a demon, is she can, like, make these strings and just make them blow up. She can literally make explosions. Good God. And she's got a good amount of intelligence. She ran away from Zenitsu when he was literally slithering towards her, but I don't think it'd take much brain cells to, figure out to run away from that. God. But, yeah, not much to say about Nezuko, just she's a great character and she deserves the spot she's got. Number 3, Rock Lee from Naruto. Alright, let's start this with Lee's personality, which I feel like this lyric of this song fits his personality exactly as it should be.
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours.
And he's very determined to be a good ninja, even though he can't do jutsu. And I highly respect that. Speaking of jutsus and powers, let's get to Lee's powers. He can't really do any jutsus, like I said. But he's got great martial arts skills, and that's pretty damn cool in my opinion. Just beating the shit out of people. I just love the idea of beating the cat piss out of someone that deserves it. But Lee does have a power. It's called the 8 Gates, where pretty much if he opens all 8 of the gates, his speed increases, which he's already fast as fuck, boy, and his strength increases. But it almost crippled him once, so that kind of sucks. But hey, Guy Sensei used it, so I'm sure he can use it now. I hope he can, at least. But, dude, Lee's just an awesome character in general. Lee's intelligence, he's a little smarter than Naruto, but not by much. But I mainly like him about his drive, his power, and his youth. I love it. That's why Lee is my number 3 favorite anime character in general. Number 2, Eijiro Kirishima from My Hero Academia. Let's start with his intelligence because his personality is going to get me into a whole rant. But his intelligence will do first. His intelligence is, well, let's just say he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. He's definitely smarter than Denki, but he's still not the sharpest tool in the shed. And then there's his quirk, which is hardening, which is where he hardens his skin, and it's pretty much unbreakable in that universe. It's an alright quirk. Pretty cool quirk, but it's alright. He can take a bullet with his hardening quirk at a normal rate, but if he pushes his quirk to the limit, he goes into unbreakable mode. It doesn't last that long, but it pretty much makes him, well, unbreakable. He's like a bulldozer. But, now time to talk about his personality, which is, oh god, this is gonna take such a long time to explain. Now, mainly, he's a cool guy that just really likes working hard. But the way he got the way he was is the reason why he's so high on the list. Is because he thought he was useless, and then he made something of himself using a quirk that everybody thought was useless, and now is becoming a pro hero. Honestly, he's probably the most relatable character for me I've ever seen. Like, I really relate with Kirishima. When I saw his backstory, instantly was my favorite character. But he's just a great guy, and I cannot wait to see what kind of hero he becomes.
I swear to God, if I see any Kirishima hate in the comments, I will give you a one-way ticket to Valhalla.
I won't hesitate, bitch!
Now, before we get to number 1010, it's time for some
honorable mentions.
These are still characters I absolutely love, but they just weren't good enough to make the list. But I still love them. First honorable mention, Ryuk from Death Note. God, he's an evil bastard, and that's why I absolutely love him, but he still wasn't just that evil to make the list. Fumikage Tokoyami from My Hero Academia. Again, a great hero, I love him, but again, thanks to the rule, I couldn't add him to the list. Gang Orca, a great guy. He acts all tough, yet he has a soft spot for kids, and he's a complete badass. But thanks to the rule, I couldn't add him to the list. Now you're starting to see why I added the rule. Pain from Naruto. Complete and utter savage. But thanks to the rule, I could not add him to the list. But he is still a savage, bro. And Toby from Naruto. I like how he goes from goofy to absolute menace in a freaking second. But again, thanks to the rule, I could not add him to the list. But I have to do this one thing. Bokolai Toby! Alright, let's get on to number 1. And finally, number 1. Kakashi Hatake from Naruto. That's right, I think Kakashi Hatake from Naruto is the best anime character I've seen so far. Let's start with his personality. He's cool, he's calm and collective, and a bit of a perv. Kinda like me, and he also cares about his students, his friends, and his village. And that I highly, highly respect. Then there are his powers, which are very complicated because he technically has over 100 jutsus, but I'm only going to name the ones that from memory that I remember, because there's a lot of them. Let's start with the jutsu he invented, the Chidori or the Lightning Blade. And the Chidori's kinda like the Rasengan, except one difference. It's made of lightning, and remember how I mentioned that the Rasengan could blow up a water tower? Yeah, this thing can pierce a water tower. And Kakashi invented it, so he's the best at using this jutsu. Then there's the Water Dragon Jutsu that he used against Zabuza in the first series of Naruto. Which, if you don't know what that is, it's literally a giant water dragon. That is literally awesome. Then there is his summoning jutsu, which he summons ninja hounds. Yes, he summons an army of dogs to fight for him. That is honestly pretty cool. And just like his summons, he has an incredible sense of smell. Then there's his famous substitution jutsu, aka he literally can just replace himself with a log. Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to hit him too. He also has incredible taijutsu, not on Lee and Guy's level, but still pretty damn good. And the one thing that makes him apart from Sakura and Naruto is his famous Sharingan that makes him the copy ninja of the leaf. And if you don't know what the Sharingan is, you have just started an anime and you're watching my account to find out my favorite characters so you can watch the animes they're from. and honestly I don't mind. But for those of you that don't know what the Sharingan is, the Sharingan is a visual jutsu that allows him to copy any jutsu and also see his opponent's moves before he can even make them. And that's just the basic Sharingan. Kakashi has the Mangekyou Sharingan. And the Mangekyou Sharingan can do a lot more, like he can put people in Genjutsu, like Itachi does. But one of the things he does with his Mangekyou Sharingan is like open like a vortex that sucked in Deidara's arm in one episode. Like, holy crap! And by the way, this is just scratching the surface of the shit he can do. He is copied, I'm pretty sure the anime said 100, but it could be more than 100. But Kakashi has a lot of jutsus that he can use, including the Rasengan and Shadow Clone Jutsu, which, if you were paying attention earlier, I noted they are very strong. But there is just one more jutsu I have to mention just because of how legendary it is. Hidden Leaf Style Secret Finger Jutsu, 1,000 Years of Death, where he puts his hands in a sign with 2 fingers pointing up on both hands and shoves it up your ass and makes you go flying. Honestly, in my opinion, I think it's his most powerful jutsu he has in his arsenal. And there's one thing that makes him even better. You think Deku's smart? Kakashi is smarter. I am not kidding. Kakashi's smarter than Deku. And I compared Deku to Batman. So, yeah, Kakashi's one smart motherfucker. But yeah, that is why Kakashi is my #1 favorite anime character. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And by the way, the reason why I haven't been posting as much is because I've been trapped in Squid Game and I'm getting sick and tired of it. I'm getting out of here. See ya.
Come on now. Come on.